Oh, hey everybody, Richard Roeper here. Hold your noses. I'm literally sifting through the garbage pile for one last look at the worst of the worst movies of 2014. They're the worst. As always, we start with the 10th lousiest film of the year and we count our way down to the absolute worst. At number 10, Horrible Bosses 2. This movie had such little respect for the audience. It wasn't even about horrible bosses. It was about these three stooges coming up with the worst idea ever to make it rich. They kidnapped the obnoxious son of a wealthy businessman. Nobody gets out of this movie with their dignity, not even the great Christoph Waltz. But Jennifer Aniston has the most embarrassing role, playing an insane nymphomaniac. They should have just titled this Horrible. The 9th worst movie I saw this year was If I Stay. Now you should really go. Chloe Grace Moretz is a bright young talent, but she's mired in this ridiculous melodrama that plays like a high school version of Ghost, only with a much lesser script. Much of the film involves an invisible, spiritual version of Moretz's Mia padding about the hospital while physical Mia is in a coma. When Mia's boyfriend sings her one last song, I think the poor girl was wishing for the sweet relief of death. At number 8, another sappy romance with supernatural overtones. Anyone remember Winter's Tale from way back in February? No? Well, good for you! Colin Farrell and Russell Crowe are hopelessly lost in this time-traveling debacle that features a magical winged horse that's really a dog, Will Smith as Lucifer, and William Hurt saying fillet should be pronounced fillet because you don't call a wallet a wallay. What?
No, it's fillet. Just as in wallet, you don't say wallay, do you? You say wallet.
All right, our countdown continues with That Awkward Moment, a bromance movie that knows nothing about male friendship, romance, or comedy. Other than that, I just loved it. This is one of those desperate films with a number of running gags that start off unfunny and simply get more tiresome the second and third time around. Proving once again it often takes some really talented people to make memorable horse shit. At number 6, we have Luc Besson's Lucy. Scarlett Johansson plays the title character. She ingests a drug that makes her smarter than everybody, even the pontificating professor played by Morgan Freeman. This is a great looking film with some stunning visuals, but the smarter Lucy gets, the more idiotic the movie gets. At number 5, Sex Tape. Jason Segel, who's usually very funny, and Cameron Diaz, who can be funny when she's not trying too hard, flounder about in this raunchy but never sexy comedy. Even the premise about a married couple making a sex tape and how it gets distributed via the cloud doesn't make sense. Every 10 minutes in this movie, the whole story could have come to an end if a character did what any rational human being would do. But, like the hackiest sitcoms, Sex Tape keeps plodding along with nearly every scene landing with a deadly thud. For a much funnier movie, there's number 4, Left Behind. Problem is, it's supposed to be a serious, faith-based drama. Nicolas Cage stars in this remake of a Kirk Cameron film, and wrap your mind around that sentence, in this well-intentioned but comically inept disaster movie. Cage plays Rayford Steele. We also get characters named Shasta Carvel and Buck Williams. That sounds more like a porn movie. The special effects are lousy, the acting is so wooden we could make a basketball court out of it, and the message is ham-handed and overwrought. Hardly a year goes by without Adam Sandler making an appearance on our worst of list, and 2014 is no exception. I'm often asked if I ever walk out of a movie, and the answer is no. I always stay to the bitter end. But Blended had me itching for the exits. Sandler reteams with his wedding singer and 50 First Dates co-star Drew Barrymore in this idiotic, shameless, offensive, pandering, simple-minded, cliched, vulgar, disturbingly awful movie. Oh, Cameron Diaz makes her second appearance in the bottom 10 with The Other Woman. No cliche is left unturned in this would-be feminist revenge fantasy that's actually insulting to women. Leslie Mann and the hopelessly amateurish Kate Upton join Diaz in a series of contrived episodes in which they plot their revenge on Mann's husband, who's been fooling around with the other two nitwits. And yes, this is the kind of movie that has a wisecracking black secretary who exists only to comment on her boss's life in her own wacky romance.
I mean, it's good that Mark doesn't have a nickname, though. Means he's still viable. You haven't rejected him yet.
He's not a donor kidney.
It's not the organ I was thinking of.
Well, that's a whole crate of Rotten Tomatoes, but none can compare with the jaw-dropping awfulness of Before I Go to Sleep. Remember what I said about truly talented people sometimes producing inexplicably horrible work? Well, Oscar winners Colin Firth and Nicole Kidman star in this dramatic turn on 50 First Dates. Every morning when Kidman's Christine wakes up, she doesn't know who she is, she has no memories, and she doesn't even recognize her husband, Ben. But every day, Ben, played by Colin Firth, patiently explains everything to Christine, and then he goes off to work! Every shocking turn in this story is either not so shocking because we see it coming, or completely senseless. Before I go to sleep, I try to forget I ever saw this movie. All right, there you have it. I'm Richard Roeper. Those were the worst movies of 2014. I'll see you with my take on the best movies of the year soon.